a fundamental move that leads to several exciting openings. The Sicilian defense controls the d4 square with the c-pawn, a popular variation of the Sicilian that can lead to open, tactical games. g6 prepares to fianchetto, the dark squared bishop, where it will sit on the long diagonal. d4 takes space in the center, attacks the c5 pawn, and allows the dark squared bishop to develop. c takes d4 captures the central d4 pawn and opens up the center. Knight takes d4 captures the d4 pawn and places the knight in the center. This develops the bishop and gives it scope on the long diagonal. White develops the knight and attacks the center. This offers an equal trade of pieces. Bishop e3 develops the bishop and defends the knight on d4. Knight f6 develops the knight toward the center, attacks the e4 pawn, and prepares castling. Bishop c4 develops the bishop to an aggressive diagonal where it controls the d5 square and attacks the f7 pawn. This prepares the bishop for development. This creates a pawn chain, linked pawns that form a strong structure. Castling gets the king out of the center of the board, while also developing a rook. The queen moves forward into the game. Solid choice in the opening. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. A straightforward recapture. This offers to exchange pieces of equal value. This moves the bishop to safety. The rooks can see each other now, allowing them to provide mutual defense. By castling to the opposite side of the board, the game will tend to be more double-edged. This threatens to tactically win a pawn. This prevents the opponent from being able to tactically win a pawn. Black launches a pawn advance, pushing toward the opponent's king. The better move was to prepare a retreat square for the king. A clear recapture. This threatens to tactically win a queen. After all captures, this is an equal trade. Right on target. This is the only move that works. This evades the check from the knight. A solid choice. This simplifies the position, which is beneficial for black. This captures a queen and eliminates a threat. This is the strongest option. The rooks are coordinated and powerfully doubled on the file. One of the best moves. The bishop finds a new active square. This moves the rook to safety. The rook is kicked by a pawn and must now move or be captured. This move puts the rook on a safer square. Very precise. Right on target. This is a fair move. That's fine. This makes a passed pawn. A very strong play. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. This is the strongest option. This steps away from the checking rook. This moves the rook to safety. A solid choice. The better move was to defend a pawn that was under attack. This defends the attacked pawn. This hangs a pawn after a rushed move. The pawn is now passed because it can no longer be challenged by pawns as it tries to promote. This is a fair move. Very precise. That's fine. The best option was to kick a rook. This permits the opponent to take an open file with a rook. The best option was to take an open file with a rook. This allows the opponent to take an open file with a rook. This threatens to capture a pawn and win material after the follow-up trades. This is an equal trade. The best option was to recapture a piece. One of the best moves. This misses an opportunity to capture a free pawn. The best option was to push a passed pawn. This is not the right idea. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best. The better move was to take an open file with a rook. This creates a pawn chain, linked pawns that form a strong structure. This evades the check from the pawn. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. A clear recapture. The game is still close to even, but white lost their winning advantage. Only one move worked there, and this wasn't it. The better move was to push a passed pawn. After all captures, this is an equal trade. A straightforward recapture. Black finds a rook-winning tactic with just seconds to spare, pushing a passed pawn. This misses a chance to win a rook, but the position would have been losing anyways. This permits the opponent to eventually win a pawn. A very strong play. This is the only move that works. White's bishop has moved to a square with greater activity and control. This misses a better way to evade the check from the opposing bishop. This is the only good move. This defends a pawn that was under attack and had no defenders. This moves the bishop to a better location, allowing it to control more squares. This allows the opponent to capture the opponent's passed pawn. This is an equal trade. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. After all captures, this is an equal trade. This makes a passed pawn. There were worse moves, but also something much better. This is not the right idea. There were worse moves, but also something much better. This is the only move that works. This blocks the check. The better move was to move a rook to safety. This misses a better way to defend a pawn that was under attack. This move puts the rook on a safer square. This is the only good move. This blocks the check from an opposing rook. The best option was to move a rook to safety. This is the only move that works. This defends a pawn that was under attack and had no defenders. This blocks White's pawn. Right on target. This is a fair move. The passed pawn moves towards its goal. This is the strongest option. This blocks the check from an opposing rook. This moves the rook to safety. Placing a rook behind a passed pawn helps keep the pawn protected as it tries to promote. This avoids clear danger. This steps away from the checking rook. That's fine. Pushing a passed pawn. This offers an equal trade of pieces. This defends the attacked rook. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. The passed pawn moves towards its goal. Very precise. A solid choice. One of the best moves. The passed pawn moves towards its goal. A very strong play. Pushing a passed pawn. A solid choice. One of the best moves. A very strong play. The passed pawn moves towards its goal. A solid choice. Pushing a passed pawn.